Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'll be talking about my final winter outlook for winter of 2023 into 2024. And since my last upload about the winter this year, a lot of things have changed, so I'm ready to show you guys what I have noticed in the past couple weeks. Now on your screen here is the overall ocean temperatures across the globe, but one major important area we tend to focus on is this area right off the coast of Central and South America. This area can either be above average temperatures wise or below average temperature wise. This year it's above, so that means we have an El Nino. What does an El Nino do for the whole US as a whole for winter? This is what a pattern of an El Nino typically does. Now, not every El Nino is the same. There could be strong, weak, and moderate. Right now we're moderate, but the overall theme of an El Nino is across the western coast of Canada and the US is warmer than average temperatures due to pretty persistent ridging going along the west coast. And with an El Nino, we have an active subtropical jet, so that brings in a lot of moisture from the Pacific into the southern states, possibly even into the mid Atlantic states when you get those nor'easters to form and go up the coast. And a polar jet stream is in parts of the north. Now, the only problem with this year's El Nino is it was projected to become a strong El Nino. Some models still projected to become a strong El Nino. But right now, it's not really doing that. This is the MEI, which is pretty much this, this right here, but it takes into takes into account convection and overall ocean temps beneath the surface, not just on top of the surface and other things. And notice this is where we reside right here, this gray line right here, point 0.3. Now these lines are strong El Nino years. Notice that we were pretty similar, I guess, on our way to a strong El Nino back in, let's say, the March, February time frame where we're coming out of our La Nina, triple dip La Nina, but our MEI value hasn't really increased that much. And recently, the past month, it actually dropped, believe it or not. So this year won't be a typical El Nino year. I think the overall theme this year is definitely persistent ridging out west. I believe that is a major factor. But I think with the part that's going to be a wild card is our MGO values, which the Madden-Julian oscillation, which controlled last year's winter, caused the East Coast to have a pretty warm and dry winter overall, and the West Coast got tons of cold air and snow. Is going to be a major factor, and I believe our polar vortex will be a major player as well. As of now, we don't know how it's going to be 2 months from now when we're in January, February timeframe, sadly. So we're just going to have to wait and see with those and take a chance what we have. With all that being said, we've reached the point where it all matters. Our final winter outlook map. Now I'm going to be doing December, January, and February temperatures only due to the sheer fact that we have an El Nino, and pretty much if you are south of this line, you're going to have above average precipitation. And if you're in this area, pretty much the northern states of America, it will be drier. That part of the El Nino is very simple to do. But the problem is, this El Nino isn't going to be our typical El Nino. So I believe portions of the western tier of the United States will start out below average temperatures when we have persistent troughing, and our MGO phase will be in the 8 to 1 range. Now, normally, if you're in January, that is a very cold signal for the eastern part of the US, but since it's still early in the winter, and the MGO tends to, when it's in the 8 to 1 phase, it tends to drop troughs out in the west. I think that's going to happen, and it's going to be in that range persistently throughout the whole month of December, even into January and February, and you'll see in a moment. Now, with January, the pattern starts to flip. You'll have an active subtropical jet, like I said, so this is why majority of the southern tier of the US is below average temperatures, but you'll start to notice a lot of ridging going on in the west part of the US and Canada. That will be driving a couple cold shots throughout the month of January into the East Coast, mixing, let me just pan this out for you, a couple troughs dropping down. Like I said, you have your active subtropical jet. There could be a time for a couple nor'easters to come about this time frame when you have these troughs dropping down and you have your storms forming either in the Gulf or right off the coast of Florida going straight northeast. this is when I think the Northeast or the East Coast as a whole will start to get into some serious snowstorms. Like I said, South, Southeast, and the Mid Atlantic below average temperatures, in the West and parts of the Midwest above average temperatures. Finally, February, this is when I believe all hell breaks loose for the East Coast. I think our MGO will be in 8-to-1 phase consistently in this time frame in the month of February. We'll have an active subtropical jet, like I just said, and I think we'll have numerous troughs sitting out in the East Coast. And I believe pretty much the whole East Coast, I believe, will get into at least some significant storm, whether it be rain, ice, snow, blizzard, whatever it may be. I believe either mid to late January or February. I believe that time frame is going to be very active for the U.S. Now, for the West Coast, I think this is when we'll have persistent ridging out in the West, our positive PNA, negative EPO, or EPO is back up in Alaska. That's when we have ridging in Alaska. Same with the negative NAO, I think we'll have that. That's blocking by Greenland, ridging by Greenland, just like this over here. So if you put all that together, I think this is the month for big snowstorms across the East Coast. Now, if I had to choose where I think this year will have the most snow, it would 100% be in this area right here. I really do think with an active subtropical jet clashing with numerous troughs coming down from Canada, I believe it's definitely somewhere in this area we'll have the biggest snowfall storm, snowfall, snowstorm, whatever. I believe definitely somewhere in that circled area that I have right here will be the breadwinner of this winter. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. If you really did enjoy, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe too for more, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day.